Why do people want women's sanitary products to be free? Imagine when you go into a public restroom you had to pay to use the toilet paper every time you needed some. That's what it's like, at least with public restrooms and feminine sanitary dispensers. Some countries are poor and people end up using things that are not sanitary to absorb, and it causes secondary medical issues. Most people don't expect it to be free, in the sense that if you walk into the grocery store, you can just take a box and go. Most people just don't want to be taxed. Or at least taxed the same as things like TP and soap, etc. for the product. And like any other sanitary products, it should be available for free in public. For example, in a public restroom there is typically toilet paper and paper towel. And if there is women's products there, you have to pay for them. There should be free options available in public places, especially schools. Another example is the country I live in used to have an extra 10% taxes as a tampon tax. This was only recently nixed after 18 years of campaigning. But there are still many places charging extra for women's sanitary products. If that isn't unfair BS, I don't know what it. I think the larger argument is for them not to be taxed like other similar items. I don't expect them to be free, just tax-free. They are a necessity, not an indulgence. Because they're deemed necessary for a basic level of hygiene, and to not have that level of hygiene is considered inhumane. If those products aren't used, women can have some pretty bad things happen. Though why the same argument isn't made for other basic hygiene essentials, I don't know. I don't think they should 100% free. But in some cases I understand why they would be. I think in public restrooms they should be free even if it's a super cheap option. In a public restroom you expect what's provided to be of lesser quality, such as super thin toilet paper or the brown scratchy paper towels. An OB tampon with no applicator, for example, or a pantry liner would be fine in a pinch. It's just a basic hygiene thing 50% of the population needs at any given time until they can get home. As far as getting them from the store, they should not be taxed as a luxury item. That's insane. We can't just hold it in until we get to a bathroom and expel it when it's convenient. Menstrual products are a must-have item, or women would be free bleeding. It would create a public health concern. That, or shoving God knows what up there to prevent free bleeding. In some countries girls have to miss school when they're on their periods because they have no way to handle it appropriately. So, not free. Just not considered a luxury item. Imagine you're in a bathroom and you've just had an accident. You've got a leak. You don't have access to anything that can stop the leak or hold it at bay for longer than 20 minutes. Just imagine in this world that this is normal and accepted. You have to wait for everyone to leave the public restroom, go to the sink, and discreetly clean yourself up before anyone else comes back in and sees what you're doing. You steal a few paper towels and do your best, but it's not enough. Clean the clothing stains. Only your skin. Do you A. Run back to a stall and ask the next person who comes in to give you an adult diaper they carry around everywhere just in case? About a 4 in 1 chance they're having accidents too around this time of the month and just happen to have them on hand. B. Go about your day and hope no one notices the stain, or that it's growing darker and larger. C. Find a store. Buy a sweater to cover the stain. That smells badly BTW. And buy adult diapers to prevent further staining throughout the day. Keep in mind they can only be bought in packs from a store and you've got them at home. You see, this is all happening a week earlier than you thought it would happen. Normally you've got this process timed out to the day and would have been wearing one preemptively. But Mother Nature threw you a curveball. D. Go home, change clothes, and stock up your car for the week knowing you will continue to have these accidents intermittently over the next 4 to 7 days? Also, you're on your lunch break and you've got 12 minutes to figure it out. It would be hilarious if women stopped wearing pads and tampons for like 1 month to show it's definitely not a luxury and most certainly a need. They should be tax-free. It's not our fault we get our periods. I don't think anyone is actually looking for them to be free when regularly going about their lives. I think it's primarily making them affordable because period poverty is a thing. Which, look it up, since it is the primary answer to your question. I take also making them free in workplaces and institutions. More female students than you think are part of families that can't afford these products that are considered necessary for basic hygiene, which competes with other necessities like soap, water, etc. That applies to more than just people that menstruate. It's common for girls in these situations to not go to school. These girls are 9 to 18 dealing with this at the very least. The next thing is that for something that's a social faux pas to discuss openly, no matter the genders present for it, you have to pay taxes? It's primarily taxes, I think, that people complain about. It's a tax that targets a very specific group of people. And in the case that products would be free, it still targets a very specific group of people. And if they show up free-flowing, you'll be disgusted and have an issue when comparing them to toilet paper. Many cultures use bidets or other ways of using water like taboo. So no, they're not as necessary as products that absorb flowing liquid you have no control over. The last thing is that, as I references girls not being able to afford it, many girls around the world are just as at risk. Some don't even have access in general. And it's still shameful. They have to come up with their own alternatives. For more on this, I suggest watching Period. End of story on Netflix. It's about a specific in India and their issue with accessibility to period products, as well as resolving it and the stigma around menstruation. I think it's stupid to have to pay for something people who have never and will never deal with. Still shame you for. I don't think they need to be free. But a base affordable price and easy accessibility in the case people actually need them to be free, in addition to no tax, is what I think would be nice. The argument is that it's a tax on being a woman. As in, they are hygiene products necessary for women but not men. So it's an increase to cost of living that only affects women. I think the idea has merit. But I just don't see this happening anytime soon. It's hard enough for women to keep the rights they have from slipping away right now. Fucking Texas. Homeless people menstruate. Poor people menstruate. You can't keep it from happening. So you need something to catch the flow. To be fair, toilet paper and hand soap are free and accessible in public restrooms. Tampons, pads should be made available in women's restrooms as well. If a store wants to sell them, fine. Maybe they're of higher quality. But there should absolutely be resources readily available so women can get these products without charge. I don't know the exact statistic, but every woman has a period up until menopause. That's what differs between period products and other hygiene products. It's not a health condition. It's a fact of life. As I think about it more, brushing your teeth shouldn't be a fucking privilege either. Everyone should be able to brush their fucking teeth. Another question to ask yourself is, why should this be monetized? It's the right thing to do. It would be nice if they were free. I'd start with tax-free. My position is that the tax on such items should be done away with. Outside that, I'm not gonna get involved. There's too much argument to be had on both sides. I will give you this bit of food for thought though. Free means cheap. You really want to be jamming the cheapest possible tampon they can make in your lady bits? Wasn't there an argument, at least in Australia, that men's razors or something didn't have a GST but women's sanitary products did? Like the government deemed men's razors an essential item but tampons were deemed a luxury item. I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we were just fighting for fairness. At the very least, get rid of the pink tax. It's ridiculous to charge women more money than men for the same product. From the arguments I have read online from people discussing this topic, the idea boils down to pretty much this: it's a natural accruing thing that can't be stopped or controlled. So in that case, people should get these items for free if needed, as some people can't afford them. But there is no real discernible way to figure out who is in true need of the free product and who could afford it. So with all American policies, we make a giant blanket policy that covers the whole thing because it's just easier. So instead of trying to figure out how to get for free sanitary items to disenfranchised portions of the population, it's just easy to say, let's just make it free.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. TooAfraidToAsk is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.